How's it going?
Oops, I was muted.
No
Hi,
worries. How's it going?
going fine. What about you?
Good, good. Things are good. It's been a busy day today for me. How about you?
Today, yesterday it was a bit busy.
Uh-huh.
And when it's Monday, it's difficult to start the week. But what I do is I put music. I listen to music that gives me energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to music and trying to be more active.
And trying to focus
What?
on your work, right?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I realized you didn't join my class last night, probably because you were busy. So, but
No, sometimes at night I go to sleep early or watch
uh-huh.
TV. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, there's always other things to do, right?
yeah, sometimes.
Rest and relax. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Who else joined? Hey, Steven, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. Good, how are you?
Good, good, good. Good to see you after. I think you joined my class once before, right?
Yeah, a day
Yeah.
ago,
Where did you say you were from again, Steven? I forgot.
Colombia.
Colombia. Yeah, I remember. Colombia es pasión. I remember saying that to you.
Yeah.
That's that's all I remember about Colombia, at least. But did you say you were in the U.S.?
Yes, I'm living in New York, in
In New York?
Westchester County.
Oh, yes, 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 exactly. I remember because I told you my parents are living 3 hours away from Rochester County, roughly. So that's
Yeah, I
great.
remember.
That's great. That's great. How was your day?
It's good, a little bit slow, boring.
Uh-huh.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
sometimes
cold.
it's slow.
It's getting cold now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? How cold did it get in Rochester today?
Mm, I don't remember, like
Maybe low 60s?
60 something. Yeah.
60 something. Yeah, it was about that same level here. I think it was 62, 63, and then it was raining for a few hours also, so it was wet and it was cold.
Yeah,
So
summer is gone. Yeah.
summer is gone for sure. Have you noticed the trees changing colors?
No, I haven't been here in fall.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be the first time.
That's great. In a few days, in a few weeks, I think definitely by the beginning of October, you will see the trees changing color. Rochester is, yeah, you'll see, there's nice forests there. If you go to the Hudson River Valley, you'll be able to see beautiful fall colors. If you get a chance, maybe you can also visit New England. If you go to New Hampshire, if you go to Massachusetts, Boston, if you make a trip to Boston, um, very, very beautiful areas. I grew up in that part of the country, so we're very used to the fall colors.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah,
that season.
yeah, absolutely. Jackie, how's it going?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
Jackie.
Jackie.
How are
Glad.
you?
I'm doing
Very
good.
fine.
Uh-huh.
I am glad to hear.
That's great. How is la ciudad de Monterrey?
Now it's too much rain.
Really, it's raining. Oh, I heard
Oh,
there are
yeah.
floods in Mexico, right?
Yes, and
Is
it's
it
boring.
is it affecting Nuevo Laredo, or is it in the south of the country, east of the country, west of the country?
I've heard it's in the north of the country.
Oh, okay. So that's right where you are.
Yes, and we have to accept.
You guys have to leave the city?
Sorry?
You guys have to leave the city? Exit the city?
No,
Oh, okay. I thought you said we have to exit.
No, I said we have to accept.
Oh, accept it. Oh, yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, right? That's, yeah. Sometimes, also in Colorado, there are a lot of floods happening right now.
Yes.
Boulder, the city of Boulder has washed away. Many neighborhoods are gone, and many homes are gone. So it's a difficult time for people in that part of the country and also in Mexico, it seems.
Too many disasters. And I think the end of the world is coming.
Yeah, right?
That's my
Storms,
opinion. Yes.
floods, yeah,
Hopefully, not yet.
yeah. We still have good people on Earth, right? We still have
Yes.
good people.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. The world will end, I think, when we lose all hope in humanity. For me, that's the end of the world. Right?
Maybe.
Not necessarily if we have floods and tornadoes
But
and
though, I think those are signs given to us from God.
yeah, definitely some religious ideologies, some religions believe in the natural disasters and all those kinds of things as signs. That's right. That's right.
Wars.
But those beliefs are based on evidence. They are scientifically proved.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I said yeah. I said yeah to acknowledge you, Jackie. But I honestly I haven't done that much research about the evidence behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's good to know such facts.
Mhm. Hey, Emmy, how's it going?
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
What
Hi,
is Wilson?
Emily.
Hello?
Hi.
Good morning to
Hi,
Emmy, but good
Wilson.
evening to everyone else.
Yes.
Yeah. We're doing
Where is
good.
Wilson?
I don't know.
Wilson. Hmm.
I'm waiting 2 more minutes, so hopefully he comes, joins the class.
Yes.
There we go.
Oh,
Wilson, we were waiting for you.
Hello, Farhan. Hello, everybody.
hi,
Hi.
Wilson.
So we have a full class today. I like this. Like 5 other students. This is great. I'm going to wait 1 more minute. We'll start at 10:10 right on the dot. But as we're getting started, guys, let me ask you guys a question. So today's theme is the phrase used to, right? So when we use the phrase used to, we are talking about actions that we did in the past, for example, that we no longer do, right? There are many different ways of using used to. The first example is if we are talking about things that we did in the past that we don't do anymore, right? So I used to visit my grandmother every day after school. Okay, maybe when you were a child you did that. Maybe when you were a young person you did that. But now you don't do it anymore, right? She used to drink lots of milk when she was 7 years old, right? Makes sense. She's no longer 7 years old. She did that when she used to do that a lot. It was an action that she repeated when she was younger, and now she doesn't do it anymore, right? So just to get our feet wet, because I like to get us thinking. Would you guys mind telling me, for example, what kind of junk food did you used to eat when you were a child? What are the different kinds of junk food that you used to eat before? We'll start with Emmy. Actually, Emmy, before I ask you, Salvador, welcome to class. How's it going?
Thank you, teacher. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. The only thing I asked so far, Salvador, was actually before we say that, I think this is my first time or your first time in my class, right?
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Where are you from?
I'm from Honduras.
Honduras. Nice. We have a nice mix of countries today. Do you know any of the other folks in the class by any chance? Have you met them before?
No, not yet.
Okay, you guys want to start? Let's start with Emmy. Let's just introduce ourselves down the line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Emi. I'm from Jordan, live in Saudi Arabia. I'm programmer. Welcome everyone.
Great, thank you, Emmy. My name is Farhan. I live in the U.S. I'm 24 years old, and I am a project manager at a software company. And yeah, welcome to class. Thanks for joining us. Jackie?
Hi everybody again. My name is Moran. I am Moroccan but living in Mexico. I work in the telecommunication field. Thank you.
Awesome. You, Lisa?
Hi everybody, I'm Julissa from Peru and I'm a communicator for development.
Awesome. Salvador?
Okay, my name is Salvador. I'm from Honduras, and I am software engineer.
Software engineer, fantastic. Got a lot of computer people.
Yes.
And then Steven?
Hi everyone. I'm 26 years old. I'm living in the USA. I work in a beauty salon. And I've been living here for 5 months. That's it.
Thank you, Steven. And last but not least, Wilson.
Hello, everybody. I am Wilson. I am 28 years old. I am from Bolivia, and I am a computer programmer.
Fantastic. So many programmers, right? Well, Salvador, the only thing I mentioned before you joined was that today we are going to be discussing the phrase used to, right? And used to we use to describe, ha ha ha, used to we use to describe. Okay, used to, we use this phrase to talk about actions that we did in the past, for example, that we no longer do anymore, right? That's one use of the phrase used to. So, for example, I used to drink milk after dinner every night, right? What does that mean? That means you don't do it anymore, right? I used to go to the gym every morning. That means you didn't do it anymore, right? So the question I'm asking the class is, what kinds of junk food did you guys used to eat when you were children, right? Let's start with Emmy, and I don't know why my phone is going crazy. Give me 1 second, guys. Emmy, please begin.
Okay. Okay, I used to eat. I used to eat candies.
Uh-huh. You used to eat candies when you were a child, right? So what's the full sentence?
I used to eat candies when I was young.
Uh-huh. When I was young? Yep, I used to eat candies when I was young, right? Great. What about you, Jackie? Tell us about a junk food that you used to eat when you were a child.
I used to eat French fries when I was a little kid.
Uh-huh. French fries, right? So does that mean you don't eat French fries anymore, Jackie?
Not anymore. So sometimes, but not
Sometimes.
addicted.
Not addicted to it, right?
Yeah.
Julissa, what about you?
I used to eat a candy made of half chocolate, half milk, or white chocolate. I don't know the name.
What's the name in Spanish?
I don't remember. It was
Oh. So is this hot chocolate and dark chocolate?
yeah, half chocolate, half
Uh-huh.
white chocolate. I don't remember.
Nice.
Well,
Sounds
I used to
delicious.
eat chocolate. I used to eat chocolate when I was a child.
Uh-huh. Fantastic. I used to eat chocolates when I was a child. What about you, Salvador?
When I was a child, I used to eat chocolate and candies.
Mm-hmm. So chocolates and candies are very popular, it seems, right? We all love it. What about Steven? Maybe you used to eat vegetables like broccoli and spinach, like Popeye. Maybe you were a different child.
No, I used to eat a lot of lollipops when I was a child.
Lollipops. Same kind of thing, that candy, chocolate, lollipops, right? Sweet stuff. Wilson, what about you?
I used to eat hamburgers a lot.
Nice. That's a real man right there, man. Starting early. That's great. So, what kinds of hamburgers? What did they have? Like, so you had the meat. Were they like cheeseburgers? Were they more uh, anything specific about them that you remember, or just normal?
Well, it was hamburgers with cheese, just that, yeah, with a lot of mayonnaise, ketchup.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, I think kids are big into junk food, right, from a young age. So that is essentially one example of how we use used to, right? And I guess when it comes to using used to, we really want to be able to preserve the verb in its original form. Okay, when we use used to, we don't change the verb to the past tense. We don't say, for example, I used to. Like I used to smoked, right? I used to smoked lots of cigarettes. We don't say that. I used to smoke cigarettes, right? So smoke retains its original form. The verb smoke remains smoke, right? When you guys said eat, I used to eat. You didn't change it to ate, right? It's I used to eat. So the construction of used to really just it's pretty simple. Construction is simply the subject plus the used to and then the verb, right? We're not changing the verb. We're not making it anything different. And what about if we want to make this phrase negative? So, Julissa, what if we want to say that how would you make this construction negative if you said the opposite of used to? How would you say the opposite of used to?
We have to use I didn't use.
I didn't used to, right? Fantastic, right? So the interesting thing about this is we do have here the word changes slightly, right? So in the negative construction, we say used to, not used to. And this is something that even I as a native speaker, even native speakers, if you listen closely, we make this mistake all the time. I might have made this mistake already. I could have said, I didn't used to go to the gym. No, it's I didn't use to go to the gym, not used. Okay? So this is interesting. This is interesting because many people don't realize this. Even I don't realize this, I think, sometimes when I speak. Right? So, Wilson, would you be able to tell me something? We'll go and ask everyone in the class, but would you be able to tell me something that you didn't used to eat when you were a child?
Uh, I didn't used to eat vegetables.
When I was a child, right?
Yeah, when I was a child, right.
Uh-huh, fantastic. Yeah, you guys have been in my class, especially some of you folks like Emmy and Wilson. I really want you guys to focus on creating complete sentences when we answer these questions because that way we'll be able to really show what we know and it'll help with your conversation as well. So, same for the rest of you guys, but I think Wilson, Julissa, Emmy, you guys are more regular students, so let's try to do that. Steven, what about you? What didn't you used to eat as a child?
I didn't used to eat soaps when I was a child.
Soup, like soup?
Soups, yes.
Soups, yeah. So in Spanish, I think sopa, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sopa, yeah. So I didn't used to eat soup as a child, right? Or you could actually, this is an interesting one, Stephen. Soup is actually a non-count noun, so we would just say soup. We wouldn't say soups.
Soup. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just soup, yeah. Fantastic, though. Great job on that. Salvador, what about you? What didn't you used to eat as a child?
I didn't use to eat vegetable.
Just like Wilson. Can you be more specific? Maybe what kind of vegetables didn't you eat?
Well, when I was a child, I don't eat any vegetable.
So nothing. No vegetables. Okay.
Well, I was forced to eat, but I don't like it.
No, absolutely. That's very honest, right? Same situation for me. I didn't used to eat a lot of vegetables either as a child. What about you, Julissa?
I didn't used to eat carrots when I was a
Carrots.
child.
What about carrots? Did you not like the taste? Was it something else?
I think I didn't like them in soups. They
Mm-hmm.
were too the taste, like many kids that don't like to eat vegetables.
Yeah. No, I think that's across the board for all of us. Jackie, what about you? Anything different, or are you just gonna say vegetables?
No, I didn't used to eat fish because I was afraid of its bones.
Ah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Did you ever have, for example, actually, I guess fish eliminates a lot of other choices, right? So you didn't include shrimp, for example. Did you used to have shrimp?
No,
No shrimp either.
either.
How come?
Because I was afraid of all kinds of fish.
So anything from the water, seafood.
Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Emmy, what about you?
When I was a child, I didn't used to eat apples.
Uh-huh. Why apples?
I don't know. I didn't like it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes.
So a particular type of fruit, but for example, did you use, to, did you use to, oh, very interesting. Am I making a mistake here? Yeah, did you use to, for example, um, eat other vegetables or fruits, or was it just apples?
No, there's others also I didn't used to eat it, but
Uh-huh.
specific apples.
Oh, that's interesting. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. Alrighty, so now we will be going on to the next part of the lesson, guys. Great job on this first part. I just want to spend a little bit more time describing the one other aspect of the verb used to, right? So if somebody says that they are accustomed to something, they are very comfortable doing something, then they can use the phrase used to with a D, right? I am used to waking up in the morning at 7 a.m. I am used to working all night. I am used to driving 6 hours every day, right? Something you're comfortable doing, right? So maybe Salvador can say, I am used to programming in Python. I don't know. I am used to writing code, right? Something that you're very good at, we can use the phrase used to, right? So for something like this, construction would be something like this, right? I am used to. So the verb to be, I am, you are, he is, she is, we are. We are used to. They are used to, right? So this one, I don't think we really need examples because we have a larger class. I want to get to the discussion aspect of it. And the last thing is when we are talking about becoming familiar with something, right? So when we are already familiar with something, we can just say, I am used to, she is used to, we are used to. If you are in the process of getting used to something, maybe you're learning something, maybe you're learning how to drive, right? Then you can say, I am getting used to driving. Or, for example, a child, I am getting used to, or she is getting used to brushing her teeth, right? She's learning something. For many years, maybe for 3 years, her mother brushed her teeth for her. But now she is used to brushing her teeth, right? So this is the process of becoming familiar with something. And for that, we use subject plus the is verb, like he is, she is, we are, I am. Getting, then used to. right? So we have multiple applications of this phrase, and one thing to keep in mind is when we use did, we have to say, for example, used to, right? Did you used to? It's not did you used to. Same thing for did not. Didn't you used to, right? So we don't make the use a past tense if we use did or did not, right? Any questions about this grammar topic, guys, about this phrase use to or used to?
No.
Okay, we're all good? Thumbs up, everyone. Oh, wait, I can only see Stevens, so it doesn't matter for the rest of you guys. Okay, I'm just kidding. So I see Stevens. Stevens is good. Any questions from anybody else?
No.
What about the sentence that I wrote in the chat box?
So this is good, Wilson. There's only one mistake, right? What is the mistake here? You have to switch two of the words. If you follow the construction, you'll know the answer like that.
I used to not play.
Exactly. To before not. That's the only mistake. Besides that, it's correct, right? Because it's always used to, not used and then the negative and to, right? Used to stays together,
Okay.
right? So I used to not play video games, right?
And the meaning is the same as I didn't used to.
Yes, the meaning is exactly the same. I guess the reason we use didn't is we are essentially, you know, that's such a good question. It's something that is, didn't is used more when you have a second part of a sentence, right? So usually people use the did or did not if they're comparing an action in the past with another action in the past, right? So sometimes people say, I didn't used to smoke before I met my wife. My wife made me crazy, so I started to smoke, right? So in that sense, did and did not actually adds to the sentence because we are using did or did not to compare an action in the past with another action in the past. I didn't used to study before high school. I didn't used to read before my mother forced me to, right? So that's how you add a little bit more context, and it gets a little bit more of an understanding. But if you don't have that context, then, you know, really there's no difference between saying I didn't used to or I used to not. There's actually very little difference between the two.
I think I used not to is more formal than I didn't used to.
You mean I used to not?
Yes, is more formal.
I used to not. I didn't used to. Potentially, Jackie. I think I can agree with you. Honestly, it depends on the audience. I mean, I think in colloquial American English, people use both phrases so interchangeably. Really, it's just whatever you're comfortable with. Personally, I'm more comfortable with I used to not, for example. It makes a little bit more sense to me. So, great. No questions, guys. We can move on to the lecture or to the article then. So today's article is actually very interesting. I like this article because it deals a lot with kind of health and fitness and health and, you know, wellness. I think are important topics for all of us to understand. And this article comes from a magazine that I really didn't know about, or a newspaper that I didn't really know about. Yeah, Wilson, sorry about that, man. You don't get much sleep these days, right? This article is actually very interesting, and it connects exactly with what Wilson is saying, right? So, Medical News Today is a website that brings together various people, different opinions, and they write about their medical findings, right? So I am also going to share my screen, guys. That way we can, you guys can see my screen, and I can see or you guys will be able to see my screen, and you guys will also have the article on your desktop. Do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Sweet. Is everyone ready to get started?
I am.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. Lack of sleep leads to increased food purchasing. It can sometimes be difficult to resist buying tasty candy and snacks while doing the weekly grocery shopping. But according to new research, a bad night's sleep could make the temptation even harder and lead to increased food purchasing. The study, published in the journal Obesity, analyzed whether sleep deprivation would impair or alter an individual's shopping habits, based on the hypothesis that sleep deprivation can decrease higher level thinking and increase hunger. We chose total sleep deprivation, TSD, to investigate the influence of sleep loss on food purchasing behavior in humans, say the study authors. Our findings are broadly significant for people working in a variety of professions, including shift workers, cab drivers, nurses, doctors, and other jobs requiring work at night. The researchers recruited 14 men of normal healthy weight for their research. At the baseline of the study, all participants enrolled were confirmed to have normal sleep-wake rhythms. The subjects were asked to have one full night of normal sleep and one night of total sleep deprivation, TSD. On the morning after both occasions, the men were given a fixed budget of $50 to buy food from a supermarket. The subjects were instructed to purchase as much as possible from a list of 40 food items. This consisted of 20 high-calorie foods and 20 low-calorie foods. Before the task, all men were given a standardized breakfast to limit the effect of hunger on their food purchases. Findings showed that when the men were sleep deprived, they purchased 9% more calories and 18% more food compared with their purchase after a good night's sleep. Right? The men's blood levels were also measured both after one good night's sleep and one night of sleep deprivation. The results revealed that after sleep deprivation, concentrations of the hormone ghrelin, a hormone that increases hunger, were significantly higher. Right? The researchers add, however, that this did not correlate with food purchasing behavior. So blah 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 blah. No one cares, right? So this is an interesting article, right? So when we look at the situation that we are reviewing in this case, right? Sleep deprivation, they took people in two different categories, right? They took healthy men, one day, one night of total sleep deprivation, and one night of normal sleep. And the morning after, all of them had breakfast so that they wouldn't be normally hungry or whatever. But even after eating breakfast, the people that were totally sleep deprived, that did not sleep at all the night before, they made, what did the article say? They made they purchased 9% more calories and 18% more food, right? Now, what is everyone's reaction to that? I think Wilson, we'll start with you because you wrote "Oh my God" in the chat box. What's your reaction?
um, well, I think that it it could be true. Usually, well, when I was to when I used to sleep a lot, um, I usually had a good normal breakfast and normal lunch, dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays that I can't sleep too much, I'm very hungry, especially at lunch. So maybe the article has some valid research.
Absolutely right. Especially because I think they look at professions with people. I'm sure they didn't describe it in the article, but I think the people that they were studying maybe were, normal category people. So people you can find as your doctors, as your cab drivers, as your policemen, right? I mean, sometimes in the U.S. we make a joke that, or not even a joke, but really honestly, if you think of what taxi drivers eat, it's not very healthy food, right? I mean, you don't see taxi drivers, go to a nice restaurant and eat salad before their shift, right? They eat whatever they can get. They drink coffee, they eat junk food, something on the street, something in a fast food restaurant, right? So I think it makes sense. And I have had experiences before when I worked the entire night, and the morning after, I remember just going, sitting down somewhere and eating anything, drinking anything, coffee, whatever, high calorie stuff. So I tend to agree, Wilson. I think this article may be on the right track. Stephen, what about you? Do you think this article is accurate? Does it have anything? Do you disagree?
I agree. I think it makes sense. Um, Lately, I am not being able to sleep well, and in the next day, I feel like the necessity of eating candy, a lot of candy and a lot of food. I think that's why.
Yeah, so you've seen this personally in terms of your appetite for candy and sugar has
Has
increased, right?
increased. Right.
Uh-huh. And how are you trying to manage your sleeping habits? Are you trying to sleep more, or is it difficult still?
I'm trying to sleep more. Yeah, I'm coming home very tired, not being difficult a few days ago.
Yeah, I feel your pain, man. I've been there. I've been there. It's tough to sleep sometimes. I completely agree. Julissa, what about you? Do you think this article is on the right track?
Yes, I think it is right because maybe when you don't sleep enough, your body is not so energetic.
Mm-hmm.
So to complete that energy that you need, you feel like you need to eat more or more calories, not not healthy food in most of the cases,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, more carbos,
Carbohydrates.
carbohydrates,
Or you could just say carbs. Normal people say carbs.
carbs,
Scientists
something
say
that
carbohydrates.
uh something that makes you full easily.
Uh-huh, absolutely, right? And fiber also is very good.
But there is a line that I don't understand. It says the researchers add, however, that this did not correlate with food purchasing behavior.
Mm-hmm. Good question. What do you think it means, Julissa?
Correlate with food purchasing behavior.
Mm-hmm. So that
Like
entire paragraph, actually, it's actually talking about the entire paragraph. But yeah, go ahead, Julissa.
like maybe in most of the cases, if you see people buying a lot of food or eating too much, it doesn't always mean that they are sleep deprived.
Mm-hmm.
It can be because of other reasons. That's what it
Yeah, I
means.
think I think you're on absolutely the right track. It is a little bit more it's a little bit more specific than that, but I would give you that's a very good assessment, right? So that sentence is referring to the blood levels, right? So the very first sentence is saying the men's blood levels were also measured both after one good night's sleep and one night of sleep deprivation, right? The results revealed blah 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 that ghrelin was higher. But the fact that this hormone ghrelin was higher in the men that were sleep deprived, that does not correlate with this overall study of food purchasing behavior. So, measuring the hormone doesn't mean, oh, these people are bad shoppers, right? It's just one thing that they noticed. Having high ghrelin doesn't mean that you are a bad shopper, that you normally buy unhealthy food, that you normally buy high calorie food or high carbohydrate food. It's just something that they noticed. That could be because of many other reasons, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's whenever I think scientists write articles, they try to be very sure that they're not assuming anything, right? That they're not writing something that people can assume something. So in this example, they're saying, yeah, we saw ghrelin was increased, but it doesn't mean anything about how they purchase food. Yeah.
Okay.
Great question, though. Fantastic question. I like the fact that you guys are reading into the article, right? Because when I read it like, I just start from the beginning and I go until I think it's enough. But these points are very important. I think Jackie and Salvador left, unfortunately. Hopefully I wasn't boring them. Emmy, what do you think?
Uh, I think you are not boring anyone.
Okay, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Okay, another. Okay, about the articles, I think it's the same point that Yulisa said. Uh, the increasing the eating or purchasing food, it's not just for sleep depression. It's have a lots of causes. Anything will play with your hormones will do the same.
Mm-hmm.
If you are feeling sad or you can't sleep because something is annoying you or feeling hurts from somebody. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a lot of causes and the same result. You wanna eat more, and if you feel so bad or so sad, you wanna eat more and go shopping a lot. And in the opposite way,
Mm-hmm.
if we go shopping and purchase a lot of things, even if we didn't, I think it's in my experience, even if I didn't sleep well, I will feel healthy and I will feel that I don't want to eat more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also play something with my hormones. If I am so happy, if I am so I get something, I go shopping or do any something else, I will not feel hungry uh, or feel to eat more.
Mm-hmm. So I think one of the things that we realize, right? So in society in general, right? If people don't sleep, if people are lacking in sleep and they don't sleep the number of hours in the day that doctors say sleep 8 hours, sleep 9 hours, right? I mean, I think that fundamentally it affects our decision making ability, right? So maybe it's not just food, right? I mean, would you want to be driving on the highway if the other drivers were sleep deprived,
No.
right? So I mean, Wilson, what would you do if you feel like you can't go to sleep and you're tired and you haven't slept in 18 hours? Would you start driving on the highway for 4 or 5 hours? Would you do a trip?
Mm. Of course that I won't do that because it's dangerous for me and for other people, you know.
Yeah. But what is it about the lack of sleep? I mean, why can't you drive why is it dangerous if you don't sleep?
Because um, you uh, you can fall asleep
Mm-hmm.
while you are driving.
Mm-hmm. You can fall asleep when you're driving, right? What about if we are, for example, cooking something? If you're cutting up meat or cutting up vegetables and you have a sharp knife in your hand, would you want to do that when you are awake or when you have sleep deprivation? Yulisa, what would you say?
Eh, what was the question? Sorry.
If, for example, if you're cutting a large onion, let's say, or you're cutting meat, you're preparing to make dinner, and you have a big knife in one hand and you're cutting, would you want to be sleep deprived before you do that, or would you want to be well rested, be aware of your situation?
Oh, yeah, sure. The ideal will be to be very well rested so
Uh-huh.
that you are more alert, more active, and you can do
Exactly.
all your activities better with energy well done.
Uh-huh. So, have you guys had experience with something like this in the past sometime? Did you see that not having enough sleep made you or led to you making bad decisions? Do you guys have examples of this? Maybe not just eating. I'm not talking about eating. Anything. Like let's say you didn't sleep enough and then the next morning maybe you had an exam and you didn't do well on the exam, right? A lot of students, what do? The night before the exam, they study until 3 a.m. and then they go to sleep for 4 hours. They wake up, they go to the exam, and they don't do as well as they wanted, right? I mean, have you guys had experiences like that? I have had experiences like that. So I just gave that example, right? Sometimes I regret not having slept more. I wish that I had just gone to sleep 8 hours and then gone to the exam. I probably would have done better than studying until 3, sleeping for 4 hours, and then going to the exam, right? Stephen, do you have an example of something like that? You mentioned food, but other examples, for example, in your life that when you don't sleep, you make bad decisions or you don't feel good. Any other examples?
Yeah, maybe in my job, um, the haircuts doesn't look like I wish they look.
So
Not
have
as
you have you given people haircuts before where the hair was like this and
yeah
that?
with a sleep deprivation, but not
It,
not not so bad. They didn't
not
look
not
so bad.
Yeah, yeah, of course. I know. I'm just joking. But it's something that affects your performance, right? It definitely affects your
Yeah,
performance.
definitely.
So, I mean, so I'm gonna watch out, Steven. I'm gonna make sure you have a good night's sleep before I come to your beauty salon, right? Because
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
true.
want to. Do you cut women's and men's hair or both
Yeah,
combination?
both.
Yeah. So I'm gonna watch out, man. I'm gonna watch out.
You need to really focus and concentrate.
Absolutely, right? And that's a
Yeah.
great example too, because I just got my hair cut like 3 days ago. I don't know if you guys noticed, my hair before was like everywhere. And then I went to the barber and I said, military style it, make it short, right? So, she made it short. And yeah, if she messed up, I would look like maybe a girl for the next 2 months. You know, it's a very serious thing. It's barbers and hairdressers, a very serious business.
Yeah.
Uh, Julissa, what about you? Any examples that you have personally in your life, low sleep leading to bad decisions?
Yes, I remember when I was a student in college, we had many group works, and we had the only time that we found find to meet were at nights in the house of one of my friends. And so we stayed all night, wake up, trying to advance with the work. Sometimes at the last minute, yeah, that was a bit irresponsible.
Hmm.
So the next day, I felt like a zombie. I felt a bit lazy, tired, and with bad humor, bad mood,
In a bad mood, right?
in a bad.
Definitely. So you were in a bad mood, you felt lazy, you felt like a zombie, maybe you just didn't feel awake or alert, right?
Yeah, it was a bit uncomfortable. Like, no, this is not how I want to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And what did you do those days? I mean, were these days very common? Were these very frequent days, or once in a while, maybe once a month, once every two
Once a month,
weeks? Once a
yeah,
month,
once a
okay.
month. And then what I did was, well, trying to sleep more the next days,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, that helped a bit.
So do you think maybe, I mean, did your strategy change? Did your strategy change? Maybe did you talk to your friends and say, "Hey guys, instead of meeting at midnight, let's meet at 8 p.m. so we can all sleep after."
Yeah, we did that too, but sometimes the schedules are were so different that we only find time to meet at it during the evenings, and we stood until 1 a.m. Then we sleep a little and we continue again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's a necessity, I think, in terms of like the life of a student. Tough life indeed. There are some tough, tough times that we see, I think, as students. It's not easy. Emmy, so yeah, I see you're sleeping here. What about you?
Okay. Uh, okay. Okay, actually, sorry about that.
That's fine.
Um, Actually, I don't like to sleep very much. I, yes, I like to sleep just 4 hours maybe. and if it's disparted or 2 hours, then I wake up, and then after that 2 hours at after noon, it's best for me for that. And if I sleep lots of hours, uh, no, I feel bad mood and I feel guilty because I waste a lot of time for sleeping. But sometimes, yes, when I never had sleep at the night, or at, for example, if I didn't sleep at all at the day or yesterday, sometimes I just and I was working at my laptop and programming something. I just feel that uh, I put my head at the table and
Go to
have
sleep.
a yes, and have a shock, and I just feel that I fall, and I just have a maybe 15 minutes sleep. Yes,
So
and
it's a
just
nap,
wake up,
right?
and
So it's a quick
yes,
nap. Uh-huh.
yes, it's a quick nap, and just without feeling that I was sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
It's quick, yes, quick
Mm-hmm.
nap.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's actually, when I was in university, there was a guy at my school who, I shouldn't say guy, I mean, he was a professor, a very respected professor, and his name is Moss, Maas, I think is his last name, Dr. Moss. And this guy was he has made his career out of the study of sleep. All right, this guy is all about sleep. Okay, and one of his phrases that he uses that he has made extremely popular in America is power nap. Power nap, right? It's a power nap. A power nap is 15 to 20 minutes. If you're very tired in the middle of your day, you take a quick power nap, 15, 20 minutes. When you wake up, you are very energized. You are ready to
Yes,
maybe work 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours extra because you were just
yes,
able to rest for 15 or 20 minutes. So he has scientifically proven, I mean, hundreds of doctors and people have looked at his information and they have said, "Oh, this is true." So, Emmy, it seems like you enjoy power
yes,
naps then.
yes. This is true. Actually, yes, I don't sleep a lot of hours continuously, but this is the like what you call it, power nap. I think yes, I do it a lot, especially when I am working and I didn't sleep at the night, especially at the night. If I didn't
Uh-huh.
get slept, yes, I have to do it.
Completely, completely, right? So this guy, I'm going to put a YouTube article in the chat box in case you guys are interested in watching him later. It's not YouTube actually; it's a news channel. But yeah, it's some people say that, and Richard Moss actually says 9 hours a night. So Wilson, I think you were surprised by that, but Richard Moss says I think this guy's name is Richard Moss. I don't even know what I pasted. Oh my God, James Moss. James Moss. His name is James Moss, right? James Moss has said if you don't sleep 9 hours a night minimum, you are not at your optimal level of performance, right? You are below your optimal level of performance. So all of the students at my university, one of the first seminars, big meetings that we had as a university was listening to Dr. Moss. And the biggest thing he told us was 8 hours minimum. 9 hours is the best, right? So we are university students, just like we heard from all of you guys, and especially from Julissa. It's impossible. 9 hours means if I go to sleep at 11, I have to wake up at 8. That's not happening, right? So many people didn't believe in that. More people do his power nap than they do his 9 hours, I think. So it's something to think about, I guess. Um, anyway, guys,
And I think if
go
you
ahead.
sleep more,
Yeah, go
If
ahead.
you sleep more, your body will asking to sleep more else or a lot, much more.
Yeah. So for me, I mean, if I sleep 9 hours a night, then I feel like my body will get lazy. Honestly,
Yes,
I feel like my
yes.
body will get very lazy. But his studies, he has studied athletes, musicians and artists and writers and students and old people and everybody. And he has come to the understanding that 9 hours is the best, right? 8 hours is minimum and 9 hours is the best. So interesting to keep in mind. I have one last question for you guys, and then I'll let you guys go. Um, do you think, for example, what other effects, psychological or mental effects, can affect people when they are shopping, for example? Is it just sleep? I don't think so. I mean, I think if you look at the population of the world today, all of these problems that we have with obesity, weight gain, unhealthy food, it can't just be sleep, right? So, excuse me, what else are reasons? What are some other reasons for unhealthy food purchases? Buying unhealthy food when you go to the supermarket. What could be some other reasons? Wilson, what do you think?
Um, I think that it could be depression or stress for many people that want to uh, get relieved uh, when they are stressed by eating something. Uh, yeah, I think that's the main reason in among others.
Hmm. And is that something that you find as being uh, something? Is depression or all these things? Can they be controlled? Like, how do people control this then?
Mm, well, I think, in my opinion, I think that uh, just eating, they uh, encounter peace, something like that.
So food for them becomes comfort food, right? We actually say this in English, comfort food. One of the reasons behind obesity, and according to many scientists in the US, is that it is comfort food, right? People feel depressed, people feel sick. They don't want to be active, alert individuals, so they recede, they close down, they shut down, and they go inside their homes and they just eat the junk food. They sit in front of the TV, they watch TV, and that is how they are dealing with their stress. But what is that actually doing? It's actually killing them, right? I mean, they're not exercising, they're not getting out there, they're not working, they're just depressed and in this state of laziness for multiple days, multiple weeks, who knows. And so we refer to that in common colloquial American English as comfort food. Junk food, in many ways, comfort food. Food that is very high in fat, very high in salt, right? Maybe chocolate, ice cream, a lot of these things, desserts, sugar, comfort food, right? You eat it when you're sad. Oh, I didn't have a good day today. Let me eat an ice cream bar, right? And sometimes it's a very difficult. It's a slippery slope, right? You start doing it, and you just do it more and more and more and more and more, and before you know it, you're overweight or you have a difficult health situation, right? So anyway, once again, I talked like 5 minutes. Steven, what do you think?
Mhm.
Other reasons that you believe, for example, people make bad food choices? Wilson said stress. We looked at sleep. What about other things?
Mm, I was thinking depression that you already said.
Wilson grabbed it. Yeah.
Mm, Low self-esteem, maybe. I don't know.
Uh-huh.
but it's related with depression and
Yeah, so psychological stress, right? I think psychological stress, maybe financial stress,
emotional stress.
right? If you're worried about money, if you're worried about your job, if you're worried about your bills, your payments,
Your
right?
appearance, maybe.
Your
Your
what?
appearance.
Your appearance. And how could that be an issue?
Um, well, maybe some women wants to look like supermodels, or they
Hmm.
can they can uh, do it. It's not easy to have that kind of body. So they start eating. I don't
I completely agree. I completely agree. And I think, Steve, you bring up a great point. We are focusing on overeating being a problem. But what about undereating, right? Undereating is equally bad, right? I mean, we have to maintain a balance, right? So these people we're talking about, they're not getting enough sleep, they're eating a lot of calories. Women with psychological stress, maybe they want to look, beautiful or supermodel, right? They could be starving themselves for what we know, right? They could be avoiding food. And have you guys heard of um, anorexia? I think that's how you spell anorexia. I'm not sure. But what is bulimia, Julissa? You said you knew it.
Mhm. Bulimia is when, for example, you eat a lot and then you throw it. Uh-huh.
And then you throw up, right?
Yeah, you throw up.
You throw up. So it's actually really sad. I mean, these people they feel that they are damaging their body if they eat, right? They feel that they're damaging their body when they eat. And what about anorexia? Wilson, have you heard about anorexia?
Uh, I I I've heard about it, but I don't remember the definition.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the starving, that person starving himself
Yep.
for to get thin.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So it's a very unhealthy weight loss, right?
Yes.
It's a very unhealthy way of losing weight, and it's a way you can very easily harm your body, right? So, Emmy, let's go to you. What are some other sources of stress that can cause people to make bad food choices? Or not stress, but what are any other reasons that you can think of that people make bad food choices?
Actually, I think if there is no hope, if they are feeling that there is no hope to change, maybe anything of their lives, or especially even if they're weights, if they are fat, so they are eating a lot because they're feeling so sad and they're feeling that there is no hope. So just eating. Yes, this is and it's a lot of uh, as Wilson said and Stephen, it's lots of the depression in multi kinds.
Mm-hmm. Many different kinds of depression, many different kinds of psychological stress, maybe, right?
Yes.
Good and bad. I mean, sometimes, scientists say there's good stress and there's bad stress, right? Good stress for me is making sure I wake up on time to go to work, for example, right? That's not bad stress. That's something I need in my body to, enjoy. I need to be able to, my internal clock needs to be set correctly, right? So that's good stress. Good stress is that I do a good job at my job, that I do a good job teaching you guys, for example, right? That's good stress. Bad stress is, oh my God, what am I going to do because there is so much work and I have so much to do and I don't know how I'm going to finish, right? People worry about their kids, people worry about their so much stuff, right? Leads to stress. And let's end with a comment from Julissa actually. So Julissa, you were saying perhaps they can deal with stress by doing some physical activities or by spending some time in nature. Has that been successful for people, you think, in this position?
this position.
In the position of being depressed and making bad choices, how can doing physical activities or being in nature help them?
Yes, because I'm thinking about the stress that comes from the routine. There can be other causes, but in the case of the routine that makes you to feel that you're living the same day every day, so maybe a good escape could be to do different activities to balance your the things that you do during your day,
Mm-hmm.
or to go to natural places. That also helps a lot,
Mm-hmm.
just
Just,
to
just,
have
just like
fresh air.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Breathing fresh air, right? Um, Maybe even eating something new, right?
Yeah, trying a
Maybe
new recipe.
trying a new recipe.
Recipe.
Yeah, trying a new recipe, right? So all of these things are great ways to change our lives, right? But it's difficult. Change is always difficult, right? I think some people, especially if they have a very high level of stress, they don't like to de-stress. They don't like to unstress, I should say, or de-stress. I think both of those words are technically not English, but we use them all the time. Uh, any other questions from you guys about this article, about used to, about didn't used to, did used to? I know we talked about some of this more detailed. Uh, no questions?
No questions.
No.
You guys are all
No.
good. What about
Yeah.
any phrases that we talked about? So we talked about anorexia, bulimia, appearance. Have you guys heard the phrase couch potato before? Couch potato?
Ouch.
Mm, no.
American. It's a very American phrase, right? So just like I said, comfort food. So comfort food maybe for a Mexican is, you know, tacos and chile con queso, or I mean, like rich food. Like, I mean, you sit and you eat and you just eat and eat and eat, right? That's comfort food, right? A couch potato is somebody who just sits on their sofa. Couch is sofa, right? Somebody who sits on their sofa and just doesn't move. Every day he is watching TV, playing video games, eating, sitting at his sofa and his couch, not doing any movement or very little movement, right? Getting up from the sofa to get food, coming back to the sofa, sitting down and eating food. Those are their activities, and we hear this word a lot in American English, couch potato, right? Somebody's a couch potato. They don't exactly. Emmy, thanks for sharing the link, right? That's exactly what we think these people are.
Yes.
They just sit in their couch all day long, or maybe 7, 8 hours a day. They're just watching TV and relaxing, right? So these guys don't have stress, it seems to me, right? They are really relaxed. But it's, who knows, maybe one day they will have stress because their bodies are now larger and they have more health problems, right?
Yes.
So yeah, so couch potato is a good phrase when we talk about it. And if you were to Google search comfort food, I'm sure you would get foods of, like large, like fried chicken, mashed potato, rich, very dense, very delicious food, comfort food, right? Food you have for Christmas, food you have for, large festivals, cakes, desserts, sugar. Those are all comfort foods. So couch potatoes usually eat comfort food, right? All the time. So yeah, those are interesting phrases to keep in mind as well. And yeah, definitely Wilson Garfield is a couch potato. So if you've ever seen the cartoon Garfield, what's his favorite food? His favorite food is lasagna, right?
Lasagna.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves lasagna. That guy's crazy, right? And what's the dog's name again?
Oh, the. Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I watched that cartoon the last time maybe like 17 years ago.
Yeah.
It's been so long. Maybe when I was 6 or 7 years old or something like that. But
They did a movie too, but it
I
was
have I
not
haven't
the
seen it.
same.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was not the same as the cartoon.
Yeah, cartoon's classic.
Yeah, it's a classic.
It's great, great. Anyway, guys, well, thank you so much for joining my class. Same time tomorrow night. We'll have another class, and if there's no other questions, I guess we can say goodnight.
All right.
Okay, Farhan, thank you.
Alrighty, take care.
Okay, Farhan, thank you.
See you
Yeah,
next
you're
See you
welcome,
time.
tomorrow.
guys.
Bye bye.
Absolutely. Take care, guys.
Bye, Amy.
Signing
Bye,
out tonight.
Julissa. Bye, Steven.
Bye.
See you,
We'll see you.
Steven.
Bye, bye.
Yeah,
What's
take
going
care,
to be
guys.
the topic for tomorrow?
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks.
What is going to be the topic?
Oh, the topic for tomorrow is going to be, good question, Stephen. The topic for tomorrow is, let me 1 second, I'm just going to open up the calendar. The topic is, do you want the grammar topic?
The
class topic itself?
the class topic.
Spaceship to Mars. People are signing up to visit Mars, the planet.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to the class tomorrow night.
Okay.
Alrighty. Take care, Stephen. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
Yeah, good night.
Bye.
Good, good, good. Good to see you after... I think you joined my class once before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ago.
Where did you say you were from again, Stephen? I forgot.
Colombia.
Colombia, yeah, I remember. Colombia es pasión. I remember saying that to you.
Yeah.
That's all I remember about Colombia, at least. But did you say you were in the U.S.?
Yes, I'm living in New York, in
In New
Westchester County.
Oh, yes, exactly. I remember because I told you my parents are living 3 hours away from Rochester County, roughly. So that's great. That's great. That's great. How was your day?
It's good, a little bit slow, boring.
Uh-huh. Yeah, sometimes it's slow.
It's getting cold now.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? How cold did it get in Rochester today?
Mm, I don't remember, like
Maybe low 60s?
60 something. Yeah.
60 something, yeah. It was about that same level here. I think it was 62, 63, and then it was raining for a few hours also, so it was wet and it was cold.
Yeah.
So how's it going?
Oops, I was muted.
No
Hi,
worries. How's it going?
going fine. What about you?
Good, good. Things are good. It's been a busy day today for me. How about you?
Today, yesterday, it was a bit busy.
Uh-huh.
And when it's Monday, it's difficult to start the week. But what I do is I put music. I listen to music that gives me energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I was listening to music and trying to be more active.
And trying to focus on your work, right?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah, I realized you didn't join my class last night, probably because you were busy. So, but
No, sometimes at night I go to sleep early or watch
uh-huh.
TV. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, there's always other things to do, right?
Yeah, sometimes.
Rest and relax. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. That's great. Who else joined? Hey, Steven, how's it going?
Hi, Farhan. Good, how are you?
Oh,
Summer is gone.
summer is gone for sure. Have you noticed the trees changing colors?
No, I haven't been here in fall.
Uh-huh.
This is going to be the first time.
That's great. In a few days, in a few weeks, I think definitely by the beginning of October, you will see the trees changing color. Rochester is, yeah, there's nice forests there. If you go to the Hudson River Valley, you'll be able to see beautiful fall colors. if you get a chance, maybe you can also visit New England. If you go to New Hampshire, if you go to Massachusetts, Boston, if you make a trip to Boston, very, very beautiful areas. I grew up in that part of the country, so we're very used to the fall colors.
Beautiful. I love
Yeah.
that season.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackie, how's it going?
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi,
Jackie.
Jackie.
How are
Hola.
you?
I'm doing
Very
good.
fine.
I am glad to hear.
That's great. How is la ciudad de Monterrey?
Now it's too much rain.
Really, it's raining. Oh, I heard
Oh,
there are
yeah.
floods in Mexico, right?
Yes. And
Is
it's
it
boring.
is it affecting Nuevo Laredo, or is it in the south of the country, east of the country, west of the country?
I've heard it's in the north of the country.
Oh, okay. So that's right where you are.
Yes. And we have to accept.
You guys have to leave the city?
Sorry?
You guys have to leave the city? Exit the city?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought you said we have to exit.
No, I said we have to accept.
Oh, accept it. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right? That's, yeah. Sometimes, also in Colorado, there are a lot of floods happening right now.
Yes.
Boulder, the city of Boulder has washed away. Many neighborhoods are gone, and many homes are gone. So it's a difficult time for people in that part of the country and also in Mexico, it seems.
Too many disasters. And I think the end of the world is coming.
Yeah, right?
That's my
Storms,
opinion. Yes.
floods. Yeah,
Hopefully, not yet.
yeah. We still have good people on Earth, right? We still have
Yes.
good people.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Yeah. The world will end, I think, when we lose all hope in humanity. For me, that's the end of the world. Right?
Maybe.
Not necessarily if we have floods and tornadoes
But
and
though, I think those are signs given to us from God.
yeah, definitely some religious ideologies, some religions believe in the natural disasters and all those kinds of things as signs. That's right. That's right.
Wars.
But those beliefs are based on evidence. They are scientifically proved.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I said yeah. I said yeah to acknowledge you, Jackie. But I honestly I haven't done that much research about the evidence behind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's good to know such facts.
Mhm. Hey, Emmy, how's it going?
Hello.